Welcome to another episode of Press Start to Play, powered by Game Fiend. This is going to be another brand new episode that three people are in again. It's a thing. It's a thing. Sometimes it's only requires the three musketeers, but the people who are not present, right? Uh, One of them is Ayush. He got to see a game in the PlayStation State of Play which featured a woman and didn't want to play it, so he's not here. So that's one thing. So you guys already know how that is going to go. And then there is Jay, who recently had his birthday. Wish him happy birthday down in the comments. And he's out there probably for a birthday dinner today. He's going to be really happy, and we're going to make a lot of fun on him. We're going to make a lots of jokes on him. We're going to crack some bad eggs because there is a game that he was waiting for this year, and it's not it's not happening.
Yeah, he was waiting.
Yeah, and Manas, this is a very special shout out. Sadly, I've forgotten the name. Our very first hardcore hater. Do you remember that comment? Do you remember that comment? And in celebration of that comment, I want to say yes.
हम गिव अवे कर रहे हैं.
हम giveaway कर रहे हैं. But we'll talk about that giveaway later. But thankfully, he's one of the guys who pointed it out very correctly. कि तीन चूतिए बैठे हैं और बकवास किए जा रहे हैं, and that is like very seldom has this podcast been summed up so well. So I'm really happy that someone had the guts to say that. And thank you hater. You really
कब
made our
एक
day.
ट्रेलर बनेगा ना इसका, we should use it like.
वो थोड़ा एक सामने आना चाहिए. Because I have kept a print out. मैं ऑफिस में अपना लेजर से लाइक कमेंट को प्रिंट आउट मार के
उसने कमेंट में लाइक आई हैव इट नाउ. उसने कुछ उसने ऐसा भी कुछ लगाया ना, ये थ्री छपरीस डिस्कसिंग
छपरी. आई थॉट चूती. ओके.
बट एनीवेज मतलब डिस्कसिंग बुलशिट इग्नोर गाइस. तो मैं कह रहा मतलब ऐसे थोड़ी कि हजारों करोड़ों लोग सुन रहे हैं, तू ही आके सुना साले. यू आर लाइक 1/10 ऑफ द ऑडियंस. निकल इधर से.
नहीं मत निकल.
मत निकल. रेप्टाइल ऑफ कुरला, तू यहीं रहे, मेरी बात सुन. पर enough of those jokes. Let's go into the meat and bones of the discussion that we're going to have today. And this is going to be another one of those fuck all discussions that we have on our podcast. This is going to be about the PlayStation State of Play's one brand new game that is going to come out in 2025.
एक वही था क्या, और nothing new from them?
था Horizon not remastered.
Zero Dawn remastered.
Lego.
But Lego तो इस साल है.
इस साल आ रहा है. हाँ, इस साल आ रहा है.
Next
मेरी
year.
फैंटेसी में.
Fun, but I don't think it's like I तो like the regular Horizon.
Yeah. Like the game that we're going to talk about, that's the second game that I'm most excited about. The first game being Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. I'm going to pay that 10. Like, I'm not joking. I'm going to pay that $10. I'm going to replay that game. Because मुझे देखना है. I want to like वो. हाँ. PC में भी $10 होगा. So I like वो जो anti वो crowd है ना, they say like Aloy does not look beautiful and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, now she looks good. Like that kind of पूरा एकदम. Yeah. पूरा एकदम DLSS.
By the way, the price for Horizon Zero Dawn has gone up on PC.
Double कर.
Yeah.
Since then. Yeah.
ऐसे थोड़ी. सोनी ऐसे जेनरस होता तो आज का.
रीजनल प्राइसिंग वाला जब बात होगा तब हम लोग उस पे आएंगे.
Sony, I think Sony can like kind
special
of
guest
fix
over there.
Sony can fix poverty by just reducing prices. मतलब गरीबी मुझे लगता है दुनिया में सोनी की वजह से ही है.
सोनी बोल रहा गरीबी $1000 दो.
वो Xbox ट्राई कर रहा है ना
एनिवर्सरी एडिशन.
Looks nice.
But yeah, the game that I think I got excited about. I don't know about you guys. I'll hear about it, live over here. Shadow of Yotei.
Ghost of Yotei.
Ghost of Yotei. Okay, I'm
Shadow दूसरा गेम है.
Okay, that was not intentional. Okay. Ghost of Yotei, and we saw a female protagonist, samurai or मैं तो नहीं बोलने वाला कि ये क्या है, because then people will say this is not a samurai, this is the shinobi, this is
shinobi.
कुछ बोलने लग जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो I don't want to. मेरे को नहीं पता. She is in the 17th century, 1600 something, Edo era Japan, but she's up there, एकदम north में. And there's like the Yotei mountain and everything, and like the visuals were really nice. I really liked all of it. I loved it.
एक वो
And,
पैनिंग शॉट नहीं था लाइक हर स्टैंडिंग ऑन सम पे माउंटेन
Mountain
Yeah.
front.
मैं कहा, ये
Oh
कैसे
yeah.
फ्रेम किया ड्यूटी आई वांट टू सी दिस
and 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 the very first thought that came to my mind was like what Gene Park had said in his tweet, like reminded him of Red Dead Redemption, like the whole Western wala,
music भी
And I
वैसा।
was thinking, okay, people. Uh, people see that and not getting angry, but then people are hearing wo Yasuke mein hip hop wala music and then getting angry. So I was like, seriously, like let them say that, tell their own story. But also the whole blue eye samurai wala mere ko laga ki thoda, there are much like similarities between how they are showing it off with the female character and her quest for vengeance and everything. I hope it turns out to be good. But the point that I wanted to point out, which I have not talked about it yet, even with you all, is that I felt that Sony is finally hitting on that Assassin's Creed formula. And I know you might think that I'm like wrong over here and you will have the right to your own opinion over there. But I think Sony has seen the trappings of the Assassin's Creed formula, has seen how the future story has kind of messed it up, how like a story connecting all stories has messed things up because the directors and everything change. And this ghost
Ghost
of
franchise.
ghost franchise, ghost of, I think in the future might also move out of Japan.
Yeah.
And that will be like stealth, like what people wanted from Assassin's Creed, stealth and open world. And that is what going to happen. Stylistic stealth and open world. It will definitely in the future move out of Japan. And I'm seeing that I think Sony has wanted to break into it. And I think this might be a good step in that direction.
Yeah, I think I agree with Sushir ka wo idea of कि ना Sony will be wanting to get into the Assassin's Creed formula. I think Horizon Forbidden West is like the best version of the Ubisoft formula. मतलब वो
Yeah.
पूरा का पूरा Ubisoft formula है, but it's like nicely refined and modernized कि उतना repetitive now. Which I think a lot of Valhalla also nailed. Tsushima में Ghost of Tsushima में ऐसा नहीं था, like they were definitely going for the Ubisoft formula, but वो सारी
Yeah.
चीजें वो ढंग से कर नहीं पाए. So yeah, I don't
Like,
know,
I-
लेकिन अगर दो ऐसे गेम्स
Yeah.
होंगे, like एक Horizon भी एक Tsushima का like एक different feel तो था, it wasn't
Yeah.
like with the wind वाला mechanic and all, like, and not too many, maybe they had those things ना, जैसे वो the legends and tales, like different ways of
Yeah.
quest delivery, and it's not like you have to do a bunch of checklist stuff now. So
I feel again they're very different in the sense of Horizon is doing the Assassin's Creed thing of like having a overarching story over multiple games, having like this little fictional thing of like, oh, something happened before, something is going to happen now, that Assassin's Creed has, right? While Tsushima is not Tsushima anymore, Ghost of franchise is doing like, now seem to be doing like, oh, we told a story, we don't want to touch it anymore, because like, how do you go from Jin Sakai being what he becomes at the end, like super powerful and strong, and then redo the same thing again, right? What is he going up against now besides like you throw him in a different situation? And then they must have been I'm 100% sure they must have been like, okay, how do we tell this story? Maybe we can tell it from Yuna's perspective in the future or whatever, right? But then realize there's nothing interesting historically to be told there.
Yeah.
So they jumped ahead to 1600, like to the 1600s, where they could tell a story that was interesting, and they're like, "Oh, we want to tell a story. We want to." There probably is historically some female Ronin samurai.
Hey, I
whatever
don't
you
want to
wanna
say
call
that.
her.
No, no, I don't want to say
Yeah,
that.
I don't want to say
At
it. I'm
all.
saying there might be some. There might be some story somewhere, and they were like, "Oh, this legend might be fun to talk about during like the enemies from what I was reading were going to be like these Portugal Spanish colonizers who were coming in
Yeah.
with like weapons and gunpowder and all. So it's a completely different way of showing how the ghost would evolve
Right.
over time, right?
Right.
How this character and this legend would evolve.
In the sense that I'm trying to say that this is like Sony's idea of like what Far Cry is.
oh, like
Because
different
Far Cry is
locations
like
you're saying.
yeah.
Oh, that
It'll
makes
be a
sense.
different character, different location every time.
Yeah.
It'll be a
Gameplay
different
changes here
but
and
like,
there
but
being-
the whole thing is on in the banner of Far Cry, and so this
Got
will be in the banner of Ghost, the
Oh,
Ghost
so
series.
Sushir, do you think there is also potential for the series then like go entirely away from Japan to a different
Oh
location?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
They-
100%.
I think they
Man.
might do it in the third game altogether.
Ubisoft
I
एक तो
feel-
इतना slow है and अभी बड़े बुरे हालत में है. Another studio
Yeah.
coming out and doing that would be awesome.
You know what I feel could be the next thing? See, samurais or like samurais in general are what inspired Western films, right?
Right.
And if you look at historically, samurais and cowboys existed at a very similar time and died off also at a very similar time. And with this game, they're showing weapons. They're showing like guns,
Yeah.
right? They're showing weapons like firearms. The next possible ghost of game could literally be a cowboy game.
Hmm.
It could essentially be Red Dead by PlayStation.
बट उसमें डायरेक्ट आई थोड़ा डिसएग्री, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है दे स्पेंड 2 games होनिंग दीज मैकेनिक्स कि ना, लाइक व्हाई वुड दे शिफ्ट like too away from that? Like they would want to be like उस time
Because
के periods.
see, again, like horses, guns, melee weapons. Okay, cowboys also use like knives and stuff, right?
नहीं, मैं
And
वो
they
नहीं कह
used
रहा हूँ, मैं कह रहा हूँ now you
firearms.
have like the same game with like जिसमें एक game could have like entirely different mechanics because it's
Right.
sword fighting वाला game period है, and then अगर वो थोड़ा ऐसे cowboy time जाएंगे, they have to like have very good shooting.
I feel like a lot of their themes are like talking about a legend, talking about this like this one legend who will come and like change things in a place, right?
Yeah.
And cowboys are historically also known to do that, where they enter a town, completely change it, and then
नहीं,
disappear.
as an idea and vision, तो what you're suggesting is awesome. मैं कह रहा हूँ like जैसे like game design practicalities maybe.
Yeah, but it might go into a different direction where it can work with those things that this engine and these artists can do better.
Yeah.
Like I think they're working on
Or a Navajo game, Native Indians.
yeah, a Native American game or a game very similar to, like I don't know if you guys have read ever like the Phantom comics. I don't know if you guys have read.
बचपन में
So
तो.
yeah, Phantom is the ghost who walks. He lives in the Bengal jungle, and the pygmies follow him, and the African tribes are there, and there's a whole like you can't see him. You can see him only if you want to, and he's a legend and stuff like that. It can move into those kind of like perspectives where they can go to different places where they can utilize these vast landscapes, these something which will be visually very unique. The visual texture will be very unique and tell a story in that. And I
Yeah.
think the Ghost series is on that precipice
Yeah.
because of the fact that each entry of these games will not have anything apart from the fact that this person is a ghost and a legend.
Yeah.
There's no other overarching story tying them to that, which is, I think, kind of one of the reasons why the larger story of Assassin's Creed fails
Yeah.
because it kind of gets
Yeah.
too complicated and problematic. So
And being told through comics, and they
Oh, yeah.
abandon it midway and then come back to it and retcon it. So, yeah,
so
definitely.
that's like one of the reasons why I'm excited about this, and what Darren said, like introducing all these uh, foreign countries, especially in Japan at that point of time in the Edo period when they were going through a very isolationist policy, like where they were just like, oh, you want to trade with us, you'll only trade with us with a port in an island and not come into the mainland and stuff like that. So and all the other while like trading guns and armaments without telling the other people. And the place that they have chosen, Hokkaido, which is at the top at that point of time, which I read up little about after the trailer and everything. At that point of time, it was not a part of like the larger shogun and everything. Like there will be like groups and stuff, but it will not be like some like big warlord who is controlling something from far away, Tokyo or somewhere. And so the story will be very localized, and I think it will be very personal too, because they're the first story was about taking revenge. This one will be about too. So the whole
Yeah.
concept of taking revenge and making that like a loop, which it's going to be a very epic way to move this franchise forward. I see great potential.
I'm
I don't know why
curious to
some people are
see-
angry though.
I'm curious to see what this character's what is the name? Anue? I forget the name. But Jin's story was like, oh, he's a samurai who
Mhm.
failed and now who's going literally opposite everything he's known in his life
Mhm.
to like try and save his people. So I want to see, okay, now that the samurais are maybe not as prevalent, this person may or may not be a samurai. What is this person's
Background.
struggle gonna be?
Yeah.
How are they gonna struggle? Like, is it about honor? Is it about revenge? Like, how are they gonna have their revenge, right?
Yeah.
Because that was also personal. This is personal. Like, I'm curious to see. Also, they have a instrument. I hope you can play it with the touchpad, like Last of Us 2. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this person shapes up.
And that was like a serious highlight of the state of play. Like I really liked it. I was watching it at night, like closing my eyes and watching it, and I really liked it when it came up. The vistas and everything, it just looked phenomenal to me. Uh,
Yes.
The
yeah,
particle effects are so possible. Pet wolf sidekick.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was-
First game में you did not command like
You
animals or
would
anything.
pet
No,
fox. No, you would pet
no.
foxes and like
Man,
play
some
the
of the
flute.
exploration Tsushima में the shrines and all, it's so much fun. And the combat फाड़ू था वैसे उस game का, like so
Mm-hmm.
fun. Like it's like it wasn't luckily another Arkham style combat,
Yeah.
and it also did not go with the Souls वाला वो. It did its own thing, which
No.
I बहुत मजा आया था वो उसका combat enjoy करने में.
And seeing like the different, like in this she had like she was dual wielding, and then she also had like that Yasuke wala chain whip thing,
Yeah,
and then and then she had a gun in one of the shots. Like there's a lot of variety, and I'm like, oh, so instead
mm-hmm.
of stances we'll probably get like multiple weapons, and that's so cool because again, new game, new protagonist. I'm glad they're changing it to fit the character and not
Yeah.
like reusing those things,
Yeah.
which is always good.